Welcome to the next video on the Practical Weapons channel. And the reason why I'm laughing is the concept of what is practical seems to be changing almost on a monthly basis. Hopefully it will stop, but again, let's not go into politics because that is where nothing good happens. As you know, before, many people considered 9mm and 5.56 as the two most practical calibers to own, with possible addition of 22 LR and 12 gauge. However, as you know, in the days of Ammopocalipse, 9mm and 5.56, not only did they go up in price, literally sometimes 3 to 4 times in price, they're also nearly impossible to find. And I know I'm using the word nearly way too many times, but that's life. Nothing we can do about it. So I decided to remake the concept video on the practical calibers for winter 2020. And while I do have an AR-15 on the table, this AR-15 is chambered in 7.62 by 39, thus allowing us to use drums, mags, and whatever else you can find for the AKM, what the Americans call the AK-47 magazines. AK-47 to find is a nightmare. There are very few of them made. They were not actually a commonly produced rifle, but that is not the topic. What I have is a KS-47 Palmetto State AR-15 chambered for 7.62 by 39 and designed to use AK mags. AK rounds are possible to find, not the best choices, but you can find Wolf, which is Barnaul most likely. You can find Red Army from Century, which is a factory in Russia as well. Wimpel, which by the way is a flag in Russian. One of the names for a smaller triangular flag. That is one of the factories. And of course you can find Tula. Barnaul, by the way, is getting to US now directly, not just through Wolf as well. Which you can find on Classical Firearms. I think they had some. So we're getting some imports from Russia, which makes Russian caliber, weirdly enough, available as an intermediate caliber for a carbine. They do bring other calibers in, but yeah. Still, this is Practical Weapons channel, not expensive weapons channel. I consider 7.62 by 39 as an acceptable caliber, not because I'm from Russia. Honestly, I spent less time in Russia than I did in the US, considerably less. But because it is considerably inexpensive, 5.56 sometimes gets to 70 to 80 cents around. 7.60 by 39 is still possible to be found sometimes at 25 cents around. It is more expensive than before, but it is still viable. Plus, inexpensive magazines that are readily available. Again, if you want to go with an AR or an AK, that's up to you. Or maybe an SKS for that matter, or VZ58, or a bolt gun from Ruger or CZ that is chambered in 7.62 by 39 still makes it a practical caliber. So that's for the intermediate. 22 LR is still practical in my perspective. Literally a couple days ago on Sportsman's Guide bought a couple thousand more rounds, 30 rounds for 500 Aguila, I think. Not necessarily this pistol, again I like it, but we're talking about the caliber and this is just an example. 22 is still available and it is still usable for plinking, for fun, for small game hunting, if that's what your Joe is. However, the more important part is for those of us that do carry their guns or have their guns ready for home defense, self-defense, whatever defense. 9mm, unless you have a stockpile, and I do admit to have a stockpile, I don't actually need new ammo, I have enough for now. But if you're trying to find usable ammunition in usable quantity at usable prices, 9mm might not be your best choice today, unless you're a millionaire. So what is available? What would be my personal point of view? Well, as you can see, here's my answer. I am not a fan of 40 Smith & Wesson at all. I actually had a Glock 23 blow up in my hand many years ago. Hence, I don't have Glocks in 40, especially in the compact Glocks. But there are guns that you can easily convert from 9 to a 40. And here are some examples. Beretta 92A1. You can convert it to 96A1. You're going to need a new slide, barrel, new mags, complete slide. And you have a 40 Smith & Wesson Beretta. I've never shot it, but it's a metal mag, metal frame pistol, which in my mind is almost a requirement for a 40 Smith & Wesson. It's a steel frame, and overall I'm a very big fan of Beretta. If that's where you need to go, of course all guns have been checked for chambers and ammunition. If that's the way to go, that's one option. SIG 226. Mine is originally a 40 Smith & Wesson, and to be honest with you, it's a safe Quinn. I've owned it for many years and it has not seen much of a range at all. I don't like 40. I don't like the way it jumps. But if you need to have something that works, 226 line is an excellent choice. It's not an inexpensive choice, but it's available. And to the gun, I don't like, to a degree, for multiple reasons. This was not a 9mm gun originally. This is, as you can see, Glock 31 357 SIG with night sights and everything, even a Magpul magwell. And right now it has been converted to 9 because it was converted before the Ammopocalipse. As you can see, it has a third-party barrel threaded for unknown reasons. You can buy conversion barrels for Glock 9mm, or basically any normal size frame, not the large frame Glock, and convert it to a 40. That makes it a Glock 40 Smith & Wesson, whatever that model is be or would be, and it becomes functional. Converting a 9mm to a 40 does require a little bit more modification, but if you get a conversion barrel, it should be very few. And that gets you Glock, I'm cringing, you cannot see me, I'm cringing. That gets you a 40 Smith & Wesson Glock pistol. If that's the ammo you can find, that's the ammo you will use. And that makes it practical. In my mind, it becomes viable to own at least one pistol that you consider practical for yourself and are good at shooting, with multiple caliber kits. Beretta is somewhat limited on this because you can only get 2 calibers. You can get a 9mm, 9x19 or 9mm Luger, whatever you want to call it, and 40 Smith & Wesson. Right now I'm using a third-party barrel. This is a Silencer Co. barrel. For reasons unknown, Glock is easier. There are so many third-party components for Glock. You can convert it to whatever caliber you want. Sometimes even 22. Beretta, I think, has a 22 conversion kit as well, if you want to stay on one pistol. You can convert Glock from whatever caliber you need to whatever caliber you want. SIG, to my knowledge, is convertible also, but you do have to replace the whole slide and the barrel. And they used to have those Excalibur conversion kits. Basically, this single pistol can support 40, 9, and 357 SIG. In many ways similar to the Glock, but not similar to the Beretta. Beretta does not have factory 357 SIG adapter. So something to consider, and the same to consider for the AR. If you do have a 5.56 AR, you can get a 7.62x39 upper that will accept AR 7.62x39 magazines. Not these, but the ASC or C products ones, and they're somewhat usable. You don't need to change your lower. This is an AK specific lower, which obviously will not take regular AR magazines. Still, you do have some flexibility. And in the days of Ammopocalipse, get what you can, use what you need out of what you get. That's all. Thank you for watching. And that was a quick introduction to some of the things you haven't seen on my table yet from my small little bitty collection. Again, until the next video.